everybody, my name's Erin. I'm a licensed and certified waxing specialist here also, not only in the state of Florida, but also in the state of Michigan. So today, I'm going to show you how to wax your underarms properly. So before you get started, make sure you have something on that you don't want to get wax on, or you don't care to get wax on. Be naked, I don't care. You just need these to be open, okay? Second thing that you're gonna need, trash can. Okay. Popsicle sticks, preferably jumbo. Everybody's different as well, so if you're okay with just using your popsicle sticks and throwing them away, what we try to make sure that we don't do is if you have a wax pot that has wax in it, we don't like to double dip the same sticks into the wax, but that's only because I do multiple people. It's not just for me that I get to use it for. So if it's your own wax pot and you don't use it on anybody else, then go ahead, double dip. I don't care. But for ones that don't want to double dip, either you can buy paper towel and cut them into squares like this. So this is when you've already used the one side, but you still have the other side that you're hanging onto still available to use. So you're going to put it on the piece of paper towel and roll it kind of like around it, and then maybe down a little bit depending on how much wax you still need to cover so that you're not sticky when you grab this end. Or you can just throw the stick away and use a bunch of sticks. Up to you. Or you could break the stick in half, but people get sticky that way. Also, what you're going to need is muslin. M-U-S-L-I-N. Muslin. So this is like cloth. You can buy it in different types of ways. The place that I work for has it like in this giant, kind of like when you go to Walmart and you want to buy like fabric, the fabric rolls, that comes in like that. Or they also come like in a roll like this. Since it's already the same width, you don't need to cut width-wise, you just need to cut how long you want it. So this is what I use. Okay. So, first thing is first, before you start waxing, gotta make sure you don't have any deodorant on. No deodorant. Deodorant makes wax not stick to you. So, take like a baby wipe or antibiotic soap, something to wash off your deodorant. I am lucky today. I've been home for multiple days now. Haven't showered really. Gross, I know, but no deodorant. So, but most people sweat under their underarms. So after you get all the deodorant off, put some baby powder on that. Just put a little in your hand. So the baby powder gets rid of any kind of sweatiness, and we use this at work as well. Typically we just kind of sprinkle it over the area, rub it in just a little bit so that they're not sweaty anymore, and then you can apply it throughout if you really need to, but most of the time you won't. All right, so my underarms have been prepped. Next thing, to make sure you are not sticky after, you're going to want to put some gloves on. These are latex free, not because I'm allergic, it's because what I have. So latex free actually goes on a lot nicer because they're like powdered. The latex ones are like what you see doctors wear, and they, you know, if your hands are wet of any sort, you're going to take 2 hours to put your gloves on. So that's why I like these. Powdered, latex free. And they feel great. So the next part is the actual waxing. So everybody's underarm hair growth is different. I know mine looks rough, but if you can see, let's see if we can see this. There we go. So in the middle of my underarm, going up to the top part of my underarm, all of that hair grows upwards. Middle of my underarm down to the bottom part, all grows down. So being that I know that about my own self and my hair growth, I'm going to be able to wax it accordingly. Whenever you wax, you're applying the wax in the direction of the hair growth. And when it's time to remove, you're going to remove it the opposite direction of the hair growth. Directly down or up. No out. Do not do out. That is going to lift your skin and it's not going to feel good. So, what you're going to do is you're going to take your popsicle stick, hold it like such, be able to kind of manipulate it a little bit, maybe do some practice of being able to twist it pretty quickly. Because when you get the wax on there, if it's too hot or if you have a lot on there, you're going to want to make sure you know how to manipulate it so it doesn't get everywhere. So let me show you what that looks like. I'm going to come over my wax pot and I'm going to dip my stick in. Come here. Here's my wax pot. I'm going to give it a little turny turn. Get it mixed up a good amount. It's been on for a little bit, so we got to make sure all the wax is evenly warm. So when you get a glob, the back side is still going to be drippy. So when you take your glob, you're going to run that stick down the one side, so it's clear on the one side, and then you're going to do it on the corner of it and keep twisting so that no little stringies hang off. So it should look like this when you get it on your stick. A little bit thick, but not a crazy amount. When you wax with soft wax, you have to use a lot less than what you think. So it's going to glide on just like so. So you're going to put it in the middle. Since I said upwards is where this grows up. So I'm going to put the wax in this direction. It may feel a little like you're pulling a little bit, but as long as it's not excruciating when you pull it like that, you're good. You're just trying to distribute that wax over all of the hair that goes in that direction only. So, this stick has been used. So, if you don't have a wax pot that you use for everybody else, then take this stick and put it right back in the pot and use the same side. I don't care. But if you're in a professional salon or you do multiple people that isn't just yourself, you're going to take this stick, you're going to put it on top of one of the pieces of paper towel that you've cut. It's going to stick like this, and you're going to roll it so that you don't feel stickiness when you use the other side of it. This is still a clean stick on the other side, so we're going to put this up and use this in a second. Take your muslin. You're going to put it right directly over the spot that you put wax. But you see how I have like a lot hanging off the top here? That's because I'm going to need that to remove it downwards. So first we're going to push it on the skin, kind of rub it a little bit. Make sure everything in that area is stuck to the strip. So being that I only have one hand right now, I can't really hold tight on my arm. But if you are doing somebody else and you have both arms, you're going to hold this area taut as you remove this downwards. There's my hair. So I have some little areas that I didn't get them all yet. So we're just going to put that wax strip back right on and remove it off. Kind of do the same thing to get the rest of the stickiness off. Always remove down though. All right. So, even though you have wax on this strip, you don't have to throw it away. You can continue to use it. So we're going to put it to the side. We're going to get our stick one more time. And back in the pot it goes. Remember, make sure to get the excess off the back of the stick and then the side, one of the sides of the sticks. So then you have this little glob, just a little baby glob. And then You're going to go from the middle of your underarm down. So everybody has different hair growths on their underarms. Most people have actually quite crazy hair growth under their underarms. And that can really be depicted by how long it takes you to actually shave them. So if it takes you probably longer than 2 seconds to shave all the hair off your underarms, then you probably have some crazy underarm hair growth. Sometimes people have hair growth that grows in a whole complete circle underneath their underarms. Mine, fortunately, I have pretty straightforward hair growth. So the fact that I put this on, and you see this extra amount right here that there's no wax on, that's going to be what you use to remove it in the direction that you need to. So since I gave myself this extra piece, and I know that this hair growth grows down, I put the wax down, and now I remove it up, because that's the direction, the opposite direction of the hair growth. So you can still use the same strip as long as it doesn't feel like thick on the actual strip itself. Like, it'll get cakey, and as the more wax you put on the strip, the more likely it's going to be able to not come off the skin very nicely. It'll still come off, don't get me wrong, but if you keep using it over and over and over, say you use the same strip on your legs, you'd probably only get to about your knee and you'd have to throw this away. But you can use it more than once. So now, this is what my underarm looks like. It's clean. Woo. And that's what my hair growth looks like. Don't be alarmed if you have never waxed before and you start seeing like some of your follicles bleeding. That's actually a good sign, because you're damaging your follicle when you wax anyway. And when you start to bleed, those follicles are almost completely damaged. So either they're not going to come back at all, or they're going to come back really, really thin. So aftercare, when it comes to getting a wax, doesn't really matter the area. You're going to treat them all the same. You're going to put antibacterial soap on the area, wash it, and then after you wash it and dry it, you're going to put Aquaphor on top of it. And you're going to do that for 2 to 3 days. Kind of treat it like how you would after getting a tattoo. So wash it with triple antibiotic soap and put like Aquaphor on it. Yeah, pretty much Aquaphor is pretty much the only thing that I'll recommend. Triple antibiotic ointment is okay too, but if you have Aquaphor, that'd be best. It's like a skin protectant, more of like a trying to get bacteria out of there. So, and then after the 2 to 3 days after you wash it, then you're just gonna start exfoliating. So you can exfoliate with anything that's more aggressive than a washcloth. So like a loofah or one of those little poof balls that you get from the dollar store, those work fine. Keep it in that area only though. Do not start, using it here and then exfoliating here and then exfoliating here. Like, no. One area for one poof ball, one area for one loofah, because you don't want to spread that bacteria to different areas. So I live in the state of Florida. It's inevitable that you're going to sweat. So trying to keep it as clean as possible, not wearing any deodorant for at least 1 day to let that area heal. It needs to heal first, because it's almost like we now have an open wound when we get a wax, because we removed the hair follicles right out of there. So we're going to treat it as such. And then after the 2 to 3 days of treating it like how after you would a tattoo, then you can start exfoliating, but don't use chemical exfoliation. Only do physical exfoliation. So if you have a very basic scented soap, that works best. And then use like your loofah or your scrubby sponge and dedicate it to that area. And I would do that for the rest of the week. Whatever day you got your wax done, you extend it after the 2 to 3 days of keeping it clean. Do the rest of the week for exfoliation. If you have any more questions about waxing, let me know. Can't wait to show you my next area to wax. Have a good day.